Assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope you are fine. Today we were going to discuss about how natural selection influence mutation and how can we calculate the mutant gene frequency in a particular population. So our topic name is recurrent disadvantageous mutation will evolve to a calculable frequency. Recurrent means that forms on repetition, keep on forming, all right? And disadvantageous means that is not necessary. There are two types of mutation, positive and negative. The positive mutation is actually beneficial for ourselves or for the organism, but the negative mutation is harmful, right? So now we're discussing about the harmful mutation, right? In order to find the frequency of recurrent mutation frequency, we will work on equilibrium frequency. Now, focus on this word equilibrium frequency. In this case, in this particular case, we will talk about Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium basically. That equilibrium frequency is basically that Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium equations that we studied before. Right, in this case, natural selection cannot eliminate mutant genes because it will keep forming by mutation. This is obvious that a mutation that is harmful, obviously harmful mutation is not supported by the natural selection. And ultimately natural selection want to eliminate that mutant genes. But it is not possible for the natural selection as the mutation, how can natural selection control the phenomena and the procedure of the mutation that is occurring inside the organism? All right. So natural selection cannot influence this particularly and cannot stop the formation of mutant genes, right? And in this case, we will use the equilibrium frequency, the Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium. Basically, we will use its equations specifically. All right, because in this case, natural selection is something that is constant. All right, that has not much influence. And in Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium, how can we establish the equilibrium? Basically, we will have the conditions, and one of that condition is there will be no influence and control of natural selection. Cool. But in this case, we will see that how natural selection controls and how can we calculate basically the mutant gene frequency. All right, by using the Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium equations. Let's suppose this is small a gene mutates and gives us a capital A gene. All right, take M as the mutation rate from A to capital A per generation. Let me explain you like this. We will see at this like, right, let's suppose I have this small a gene. Mutation will occur in this particular a gene, in its DNA sequence changes, and we get this a capital A gene, right? Now think as like the rate, we want to calculate the rate at which this particular small a gene converting into this a, or this particular a gene forms this mutant gene, and that rate, the rate of formation of small of capital A is given by, sorry, you can write it as M. All right, small m. Cool. Ignore back mutation. Now what is back mutation? Back mutation is actually so this can also be occur, means mutation is also occur in this capital, in this particular gene, in this capital A gene. Mutation can also occur in this gene, and this A can ultimately gives us this small a gene if mutation will occur in that case. In this particular capital A gene, we will get the this small a gene as mutation, the as a mutant, that mutation occur in this gene. So this is called the back mutation. In first form, this is what happening, small a is converting into capital A by mutation. Cool. But back mutation can also occur, means the capital A's genetic sequence can also be changes, its amino acid sequence can also be changes and reverts back into its original form. So the frequency of small a is considered as Q. Focus on this. and capital A as P, right? Fitness of the genes is given as small a is equals to 1, means the 1 is our relative fitness, and we discussed before that 1 means 100%. This particular genotype is 100% fit. And the next combination is capital A small a. No, this is mutation, this is mutant and harmful mutant. That harmful means nature not supports this combination, this particular gene, and ultimately because it is harmful, so we get its fitness as 1 minus s. No, it is not 100% fitness, its fitness, relative fitness is not 100%, and it is less than 100, and that particular factor that causes decline in this fitness is this s, and this is called selective coefficient and survival factor. And this capital A is ultimately also is not relative fitness, its fitness is not 100% also, and not supported by the nature. And same is had the 1 minus s combination. Equilibrium works in the way in regard to mutant gene A. If the frequency of A is higher than the equilibrium, natural selection removes more A genes than the mutation creates, and the frequency decreased, and ultimately vice versa. Now I want you to focus here. We are talking about the equilibrium. Equilibrium means the formation of capital A, all right, is in equilibrium with this particular small a gene. If the formation of capital A or the mutant gene increases in our case, the equilibrium will manage itself. And how can it manage? We want the equilibrium state here. As we will study the case under Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium, and we will derive the equation, so we don't want to disturb our equilibrium. And equilibrium will maintain how, in what procedure? Like if the concentration of mutant gene A increases in the scenario, the equilibrium will establishes as by the deduction of capital A gene. How? How can its number decreases? Natural selection removes more capital A genes than the mutation creates. This gene is particularly formed by this small a gene. And how? By the mutation. But natural selection works over here. Natural selection kills this and causes decline in its number. Like I said, if the mutation will occur and 10 capital A genes will form, the mutation will kill, the natural selection will kill 15 of its genotype members. All right, cool. So the formation, if 10 mutants are formed, natural selection will kill 15 of its types. Cool. So the equilibrium will establishes if it's in more in number. All right. And what happened if it is less in the number? Because if ultimately we don't want to disturb our equilibrium, it will do the opposite work. The mutation rate will increases, more number of capital A genes will form, and natural selection will eliminate the less number of genotypes, less number of mutant genotype. Cool. Now if the frequency is lower than the equilibrium, then vice versa. Okay, I explained. Equilibrium is given as rate of loss of capital A gene by the selection. Selection will eliminate this A gene, because selection want to eliminate. How? Because it is harmful for the members. Good. And in equilibrium, this rate of loss of A gene by the selection is equals to rate of gain of capital A gene by the mutation. But ultimately mutation is also there. Mutation will form A gene, capital A gene. And at equilibrium condition, both of the cases are in equilibrium. Now, equilibrium frequency is given as P star. We can calculate the rate per generation of creation of capital A gene by the mutation. Cool. Each mutant capital A gene is formed from small a gene, and the chance of the formation of capital A gene from a small a gene is mutation rate. Now, I already explained that we want to calculate basically the mutation rate, that how much mutation occur and how many these mutant genes, these capital A genes formed from this small a gene at the particular time interval. Cool. So let's see the equation. Total rate of creation of a gene. Number one, we need to calculate the total rate of creation of a genes by the mutation. That how many capital A genes formed by the mutation. And we have this equation given by the equilibrium, Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium equation. M into 1 minus P. Now focus. How can we get this 1 minus P value? As you know that by Hardy-Weinberg equation, Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium, Q plus P is equals to 1. Basically, Q plus 2PQ plus P is equals to 1. But right now, our focus is not 2PQ combination, capital A, small a combination. See, in the beginning, we said that our small a is considered as Q and capital A is considered as P. Now, small a is equals to Q, focus, and capital A is equals to P. Cool. And we know that we are discussing about this combination, capital A and small a combination. We are not talking about this heterozygous combination. We will in this topic about this, but right now not. 2PQ is equals to capital A, small a combination. All right. Cool. So if I have this equation, Q plus P is equals to 1, basically the genotypic ratio and the genotypic frequency of capital A gene and the genotypic frequency of small a gene, their sum is equals to 1. 1 means at the equilibrium condition. And see how we establish the equilibrium condition. In this case, we already established the equilibrium condition. So that's why we are applying this Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium equations. And if I said that Q is equals to 1 minus P, then I think there will be no issue for you guys. Cool. Q is equals to 1 minus P. And I derive this from this value. Now focus. Q is basically what? Q is basically is equals to A. And A is basically the factor that generates this capital A, this mutant gene. All right. So we are discussing about this equation, that how can we get this? We get this total rate of creation of capital A gene by the mutation into 1 minus P, basically mutation factor multiplied by the Q that gives us A. Small a is the one factor that created this capital A gene, and mutation is occurring in particularly this gene. So mutation into Q will give us the rate. Q is basically our A. Mutation into Q is equals to this is the factor. This MQ is the factor that give us the value of the mutation rate. That at what factor we get this mutation. All right, cool. So if we put the value of Q here, we will get M into 1 minus P. Cool. So I'm explaining this deeply just because for your clearance, so that every equation will be clear to you. Now, and capital A gene can have the survival rate given as 1 minus S, or S is the chance of dying. Basically, this 1 minus S is the relative fitness of this mutation factor, mutant gene, capital A, small a, because there is the mutant gene. 1 minus S is describing the survival rate. This particular gene has the 100% survival chances, and this particular genotype don't have the 100% survival chance. All right, and this is less than 100%, so 1 minus S. And the particularly this S factor is basically the dying factor. All right, because this is the S factor that eliminating the mutant genes, or the genes that nature don't find as fit. So this S is particularly this S is as the dying factor for capital A gene. Now where we are. All right. So the total rate of loss of capital A gene by the mutation is given as P into S. Now capital A gene is what represented as P. like we said in the previous case, that we take capital A as P, and S is what? The dying factor. So the loss is occurred because of the dying factor, or the this particular S is what that causes the loss in the capital A gene. All right. So the rate of loss of capital A gene by the mutation is given as P, that is genes of A that formed into S. All right, at the equilibrium. So we get PS from this form. Okay. At the equilibrium, gene frequency P star given as, we will relate both of the equations, these two, because these both are conditions are at the equilibrium. Creation and formation is equals to the loss. Gain is equals to loss in the equilibrium condition. So we will relate both of the equations. M into 1 minus P star is equals to P star S. Don't confuse with this P star. We are just replacing this P as P star because right now we are calculating the frequency. All right. So for frequency, I put star over it. All right. Don't confuse with this that this is something else. This is okay. All right. M into 1 minus P star is equals to P star S. This is what we already derived, and then we multiply this m to the bracket and we get m minus m into P star is equals to what, and after the calculation we get P star is equals to m over, as we take the m common, so we get m over S plus m. Now m in the denominator is very small, so it becomes this equation. Now if we put m as 0, so S plus 0 means S, so we get P star is equals to m over S. Equation means gene frequency of mutation at equilibrium is equal to the ratio of mutation rate. This is what, this is representing what? Yes, gene frequency of mutation at equilibrium. P star denotes gene frequency of mutation at equilibrium, that is equals to ratio of mutation rate to its selective disadvantage, selective coefficient, selective disadvantage, dying factor, you can call it anything that you want to say. Okay, all are the same names. Equilibrium frequency is very important in terms it describes the rate of loss of gene is equals to gain. Cool. So equation P is equals to M over S gives rough estimate of mutation rate of a harmful mutation. If the mutants are rare, they are present in the heterozygous combination and have the frequency at birth as 2pq. Now focus. Let's suppose if I have 100 members of a particular population, that 100 members, and in their next generation only one person have the mutant gene, so the mutation is very small, is very, in very little quantity. So I will consider that that the cause of this mutation will be some heterozygous combination, this combination, heterozygous combination. All right, not this particularly the two mutant genes. Okay, so the rare there or the little mutation is caused by the heterozygous combination and have the frequency as 2pq. Now cool, whenever there is heterozygous, according to Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium, we considered the heterozygous combination as pq, capital A, small a. Yes, if p is very small, q is equals to 1 and 2pq is equals to 2p. Now focus, if this 2pq is equals to heterozygous combination as capital A, small a, if I consider that the value of p is very small, and what is p? Basically the mutant gene. As we know that mutation is occurring at very low rate, so we see if we put the p as very small as 0, let's say, no, if we put q as very small, because q is equals to, if we put p is equals to very small, sorry, my mistake, if we put p is equals to very small, q is equals to 1 and 2pq becomes 2p. Now focus here. If I consider that this p is very small, all right, and I will get that value is equals to q. All right, the whole value will become q, and q is equals to 1 if 1 is what, 1 is the relative as 100, 1 is considered as 100% according to our relative fitness that we discussed before. So by by considering the p as a very small value, we put the q here, the value of q as 1, then we will get what, 2p into 1 will become 2p. Okay, cool, clear. So we get 2pq is equals to 2p. Now, n is another factor given as the frequency of mutant bearers. Now, these are the particularly organisms. We are talking about the organisms that have the mutant genes, and we can calculate their number also. Like in the population, we say that 20 or 30 suppose cats are mutant. Okay, so that n is basically 20 and 30 and representing the number. So now n is another factor given as frequency of mutant bearers. That frequency means at particular time I supposed to say that 20-30 members are mutant, so now n is the particular factor. This is equal to frequency of heterozygote. Now we are talking about the case at where the mutation is very rare and mutants formed by the heterozygous combination. So the frequency of heterozygote is given as 2p, and n will becomes n is equals to 2p, and p is equals to n over 2. We take this 2 into the another side of the equation and we get p is equals to n over 2. Now don't confuse that this is a single equation. These are two different equations. One this and one this. Okay. So we will get that p is equals to m over s and m is equals to ps. Now you see we get that p is equals to m over s, and if we put the value of p here, we put the value of p, m is equals to ps, and we calculated the value of ps n over 2 in this equation, and if we put the value of p in this equation, we get that p is equals to m over s and m is equals to ps. We take this p into the other side of the equation and get m is equals to n over 2 multiplied by s. All right, if the mutation is highly dangerous, s is equals to 1, means nature want to eliminate this by 100% if the mutation is highly dangerous, and m will become, we will eliminate this factor s, because if we put the value of s is equals to 1, we get the mutation frequency as m is equals to n over 2. The mutation rate can be calculated. This is what we want to calculate actually, the mutation rate. So the mutation rate can be calculated as half of the birth rate of mutant types. Yes, cool. Half of the birth rate of mutant type. That how many mutants are formed at like at the birth, 20 mutants are formed. We will divide it with the 2. Half of that, it will give us the mutant rate. All right. Here is the another case that describes how this particularly works, because in this case we just suppose, but this is the particular example that of the mutation rate, that how can we calculate. Chondrodystrophic dwarfism. This is dominant deleterious mutation in human. Very dangerous mutation in human. Dwarfism is a dominant deleterious mutation in the humans. In this study, 10 birds out of 94,075 had the gene. A frequency of 10.6 into 10 raised to minus 5. The estimate of the mutation rate by the above mentioned is then m is equals to 5.3 into 10 raised to power minus 5. So we already know the mutation rate. Cool. However, it is possible to estimate the selection coefficient also. Now we can find out the selection coefficient also, enabling a more accurate estimate of the mutation rate. See, here we put s is equals to 1 in our assumptions. It is not all the time that s is always equals to 1. S can be not less than 1. All right. So depends upon the mutation, how dangerous the mutation is. Okay. So we can calculate the factor s also from that particular equation. A more accurate estimate of the mutation rate in another study, 108 dwarfs produced 27 children. Their 457 normal siblings produced 582 children. The relative fitness of the dwarfs was given by this calculation All right, we get the relative fitness as 0.196 and the selection coefficient is S is equals to 0.804. Instead of assuming, this is important point, instead of assuming S is equals to 1, we can use S is equals to 0.804. Then the mutation rate is S multiplied by N over 2, that is equals to 4.3 into 10 raised to power minus 5. A rather lower figure, because with lower selection the same gene frequency can be maintained by a lower mutation rate. Now see, if you focus on this equation, they said that this mutation rate is lower than this mutation rate. At that time they considered S is equals to 1 and calculated this value, but when they put S is equals to less than 1, 0.8, they get this value. Now I want you to focus over this equation again. That mutation rate is given as N over 2 into S, and mutation rate is directly proportional to S. The more the value of S, the more the value of mutation rate, and the lesser the value of S, the lesser will be the mutation rate. All right, I think this point is clear to you now. How we get this lower frequency, lower mutation rate? Because with lower selection the same gene frequency can be maintained by a lower mutation rate. A similar method is used. You know that if selection works, nature works at the particular time and causes the elimination of the gene, at the same time mutation will create and generate that particular gene also, right? So similar method is used to find mutation for recessive alleles, but the equation is different for that. In this case we considered mutant as a dominant gene, capital A, but a recessive similar case will happen in the recessive allele, and it has the different equation for that. All right, I think everything in this topic is clear to you now. If you want to get the notes, I will put the link in the description box. You can see it and check it. Thank you.